for today. We can be the leopard, a hip and hunting dog. We can be the leopard, a hip and hunting dog. We can be the leopard, a hip and hunting dog.
Welcome to the Middle Seats Podcast. We are your hosts, Generation Offended and Toller Talks. How's it going, Toller?
Two podcast episodes this week. Stop. I can only get so erect.
Well, to join the fun today, we got Lumar joining us as well. We're going to talk about some Fallout. Lumar, how are you feeling?
Just another great day to see one of your favorite franchises just, continuously go downhill. So, yeah, it's going to be lovely to talk about.
Yeah, well, it's been going around, hasn't it? With Stranger Things, The Bone Temple, The Last of Us. I mean, what else has been left? We got Gen V, and The Boys is coming out soon, and that's going to be a pile of trash. So, not a lot in the in the world of goodness going on right now.
Welcome to American media.
I just started watching season 5 of Stranger Things, and I don't care about spoilers. I've already fucking seen everything on Twitter, but it's like it opens with like a 4-minute long recap of everything that happens in season 4, and it's just there's like upside down energy spewing everywhere, and the ground's ripped open, and there's smoke all over the place. And then it just fucking cuts to the episode, and it's like, oh, the military patched over it. Everything's fine, basically. It's like,
I think
what a fucking awkward way to start your show. It's like a big apocalypse. Oh, the military just dealt with it. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it only gets worse. It only is gonna get worse for you. I'm still doing my reviews at the moment for Stranger Things, and yeah, I'm at like getting close to about over an hour now in recording time, and like yeah, it's rough. The entire review is gonna be over an hour for
I've
sure.
already put it behind me. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, well, so we're gonna talk about Fallout. So we'll see how much we got to complain about in this episode. We are on season 2, episode 6, The Other Player. So yeah, the big mystery as to who's behind everything. And me and Toller were talking about this last episode, and surprise, surprise, it's the Enclave again. Because
I have tried so hard not to hate this show, so much so that I've combated you both on the podcast and in Discord messages, but now I'm officially on the hate train. They did exactly what I didn't want them to do, and the Enclave is the big bad when it should be China.
yeah, I mean,
China.
China.
You're not allowed to say that, man. We're not allowed to say that. Okay, that's a bad word here.
Yeah, they really don't. I don't even think they've actually said like China at all, have they? They've just said communists.
Mm-hmm.
No, in 2 seasons they have not said China at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to recap it like events for people, just to make this very, very quick. So the games have always heavily implied that it was China who dropped the first bombs, because according to what we see in Fallout 2 and the Emperor supercomputer, the lore that's there within that computer, they state that if there's ever a situation where China has to surrender, that they would drop the bombs as a last-ditch effort. They're not going to surrender, they're just going to destroy the world. Well, the beginning of October 2077, the American forces had beaten the Chinese. They were running them out of Alaska, and they're actually getting ready to invade Beijing, the capital of China. And it makes sense. About 2 weeks later, the bombs drop. So the game never really says outright that China did it, but it's heavily implied. And if you have 2 brain cells in your head, you can kind of figure it out. So that's kind of why I'm pissed, because they just retconned 30 years of this shit.
Yeah, well, now it's Barb. Barb is the bad guy.
No, not really.
To be honest,
no, she's being manipulated.
To be honest, I was mostly just torn about the fact that it's not even that, because obviously it's there's like a lot of speculation in universe about who dropped the bombs first and all that shit. But like I don't even think they're mentioned as Chinese, just like in general. Really, they're just called communists. And I know in the flashback ones, like obviously he's fighting Asian people, but I don't even think they really like specifically call out China. It's just the communists. We're fighting the communists. Don't turn into a communist. It's like
No, yeah, there's
just
actually
say China.
Yeah, no, there's actually a complete avoidance. They won't say that word, obviously, because they don't want to piss off their Chinese audiences.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it.
Yeah, same reason they, covered up the Black Panther face mask bit and, cut out all the kissing, gay kissing in Star Wars. It's just, yeah, same appeasement kind of strategy. Yeah.
Which I don't understand why production company. Which I mean I do get it, I guess, but production companies just won't use China as an antagonist. Like we had Captain America: Brave New World last year that made the Japanese the antagonist, and
That's
it made no sense. It's like this makes Japan's like one of our closest allies. Like this makes no sense for Japan to be the antagonist, and that's because they couldn't make it China, because that Chinese money, and that's what's funny to me about this show, is that they're constantly talking about the morality of big business and corporations and them not doing the right thing. But here, Amazon is fucking afraid to offend the Chinese because they're not going to get that Chinese money. It's like, hello, you're literally doing the thing that they're doing in the show.
Yeah, the irony is not lost on me either. Yeah, it's just this constant digging at the evil capitalists and their money grubbing evil schemes that will destroy the world. And the communists, they're the good guys. They're the good guys, They're just fighting for their freedom or some shit. I don't know what they're fighting for. They want oil, right? Like that's what it's all about.
Right.
Well, so we're gonna get into this episode. So we start off with a Barb flashback, and she's in a meeting to discuss marketing for the end of the world, of course. And then fake Mr. House shows up, and they have a deal to trade cold fusion for these mind control things that they're using now.
Yeah, the brain box, I think, is what the wiki has called it.
Okay. So yeah, what do you guys think of this plot device? I'm not a fan of this whole brainwashing thing. I think it's a really weak plot line. It's I don't know. I don't really, yeah. I just don't find it very interesting. It's just a way to strip any kind of cool faction ideas, it seems, from the story and just make them all bland businessmen.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue with it is the fact that House is behind it.
Okay, so yeah, Lumar, what are your thoughts on the depiction of Mr. House? Me and Toller got into this last time, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. He's just far too eccentric, and it's like as kind of overbearing as he is in the games, it always comes off that like he tries to make deals with people, like when he found Vault 21 like underneath like Las Vegas, he could have just used the security trons to just kill them all and just take it for himself. But it was like, I'll tell you what, we'll do like a deal, we'll play like poker or whatever it was, and if you win, I'll leave you alone. If I win, I'm going to turn this vault into, a hotel and stuff. And, that sounds like a fair deal, that sort of thing. If he was behind mind control chips and he just wanted to like control people and use them to kind of make his own kind of utopia for himself, like that surely would have appeared in the game at some point. Like if he had the choice between trusting this unknown courier who he has no kind of influence over, or trusting someone who he could just mind control and get it for him, like obviously he would have picked the second one if that's what his personality was like. But no, he's like making deals with Courier 6, and he was calm and collected about it and not fucking strapping shit to his head and laughing like a madman. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like him. I don't know. The actor said he looked at YouTube channels to see how House would behave. I don't know what fucking YouTube channels he was looking at, because yeah, that's just not House in like 90% of the scenes. So I don't know. It's yeah, not really a big fan.
Yeah. Well, now that I'm thinking about the entire scene with Cooper, uh, House predicts the exact date that the bombs are going to fall, right? Like he talks about it's Cooper's daughter's birthday and everything. So how was he so unprepared for the end of the world? Oh, right? Because like the entire plotline of Fallout New Vegas relies on the fact that Mr. House has the platinum chip being made, but he miscalculates the end of the world by like I think a few hours or a day or something.
Yeah,
And
something
then
like that.
the bombs hit and the chip is lost. But like if he knew all of this going in, like if he knew who was like behind the bombs dropping, if he knew it was Barb and he knew like the end of the world jumped ahead a whole month, like why wasn't he doing all of this a lot faster? You know, he'd be like, I have the exact date, you know, I know exactly when this is all gonna happen.
Also, if he knew that, why wouldn't he like get a massive shipment of these prototype mind control devices so he can keep experimenting and upgrading them while he waits for the platinum chip? If you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Well, not only
Yeah, I mean a
that,
lot.
but they don't really explain how the mind control, like the brain box, I guess, like I said, they're calling it on the wiki, how it works. We just know that it gets implanted onto the back of these people, and you have to crank up some kind of, I guess, signal or something like that. But like, how does you know what I'm saying? Like, how does it work? Does it just pacify people? Is that what it does? It just makes them non-aggressive. Or does Hank have control over them? Like, can he just tell them to do something and they will? Like, it's not really fully explained.
yeah, I mean, in the first episode, in the opener, when we see kind of like the prototype one, it's just he presses a button when he asks them to do stuff, and then he's just got some sort of frequency turner, which doesn't really seem to do anything. So I don't know why it's even
Besides make
really
their
a
heads
thing.
blow up.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is like really random.
So yeah, I don't really know how it works, to be honest. At the moment, when Lucy has to do it in this episode, it's just like a big red button on a console that you just press. Uh, that's it. So yeah, not really sure how this fucking thing works.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this whole brainwashing thing. We've yet to see where it goes at this point, but I'm not very confident in the writers to make it in any way interesting. So
Well,
we'll
a
see, I
lot of
guess.
people think it's like an entryway to sense in the institute. I've seen quite a few comments. People think that may be what they're kind of leading to. The pacification of humans with this brain box may lead to actual, AI technology where they can replicate humans as a whole. I don't know if I can jump down that rabbit hole with them. I don't know if I agree with that, but I'm like, okay, maybe that's a little. This may be another case where the fandom is coming up with something more interesting than the showrunners can.
I
I
mean,
was
yeah,
gonna say, I was gonna say that wouldn't really make sense because the institute kind of formed after the bombs dropped, while the brain box is in development before that. But then again, this is fucking Bethesda Productions,
Right.
and they'll just fucking change shit whenever. So yeah, possibly.
yeah. The well, again, going back to the fact that this is canon to the games is just bewildering. Like, I don't know why they didn't just reset everything and make it its own show. You know, like
Yeah, yeah.
if you're gonna destroy every faction, if you're gonna rewrite every character, if you're gonna like create new storylines that make this all a lot weirder and confusing, like even the ghouls like serum thing, like that totally breaks all the ghoul lore. Like that doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
definitely.
So yeah, like just don't make it canon to the games. I don't know why they're trying to jam. Like it doesn't help the games, right? Because now the
Right.
games have to work around the show, and it
Hmm.
doesn't help the show because the show has to work around the games. So like just make them separate, like every other fucking franchise out there that was adapted from a game or a show or a book. You know, it's not like I read a novel and the novel's canon to the show or something.
Well, that too, and it's falling into that trope, that I wouldn't say Disney started, but it's the most prominent with Disney in that you don't know what's going on in this specific film, or you don't know who this character is in this film unless you watch this show and then did this thing. And that's kind of what Fallout's doing now because Todd Howard has said that Fallout 5 is going to include events that happen in the show. So if you haven't seen the show and you're playing the game, you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Well, now you got to watch the show in order to fully understand and get all the context of something that's going to happen in the game. I hate that. They should all be self contained stories. I shouldn't have to watch another thing to fully understand what's happening now.
Yeah, well, especially because this is an RPG with open-ended endings. Like this is
Hmm.
like you're leaving it up to the player to decide how the wasteland is formed, and yet they're now taking all of the control away from the players because It turns out, yeah, nothing you did mattered. The courier failed. Fucking Vegas is shit now. Like, it doesn't matter what you did in fucking Fallout New Vegas because it's just the wrong choice, whatever it
That's what I was
was.
going to ask Lumar. How do you feel about that, Lumar? And that, New Vegas has multiple endings, but the show hasn't made any of those endings definitive, right? So, like, if you're the courier and you side with the NCR and they win Hoover Dam, obviously their presence would be felt. They would have expanded a lot more. This was the frontier for them. They'd be around everywhere. But in the show, there's only like 3 of them, and Shady Sands is destroyed. So how do you feel that the show hasn't incorporated any of the definitive endings of New Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, this should have just been its own canon, really. I mean, it's set like 10 years after Fallout 4 or
Mhm.
something. Just say this has nothing to do with Fallout 5. This is just an alternative look into the universe using like central characters, and we'll see how this world reacts to them in the Fallout universe. But no, they really want. The thing that annoys me the most about Bethesda is they don't seem to understand that part of the thing that makes the setting so cool is that societies go on and they start to rebuild and reform. That's one of the coolest things about New Vegas is the NCR, all the way from California, but they've done so well there that they're expanding into, like a new area. Um, but Bethesda just keeps trying to like destroy everything or say that everything's still shit when like that should not be the case. So the Commonwealth, that's still shit like 210 years later, despite, having all these different factions and the Institute trying to obviously they still experiment on humans, but they're also like trying to improve things in their own way, apparently. Um, and then yeah, to see that like Shady Sands has just been fucking annihilated for really stupid reasons, and that now New Vegas is kind of struggling because they didn't want to stick to any concrete ending. So it's basically just there was a big war zone, everyone's been kind of fucking mauled from it. Here's the characters in this setting, just deal with it. It's really fucking stupid. Like all of these different things would not lead, like any one of these endings would not lead to New Vegas being as it is in the show. Like I don't know, House he Freeside would be a safe area under his control. The NCR, it would be a safe area under their control. Even if Shady Sands is nuked, there was a large NCR presence there, so they're going to try and police things as best as they can. The Legion, I could understand them kind of breaking down if Kaiser is killed, but like to have it just be 2 tiny little camps next to each other in the middle of fucking nowhere, like that's pathetic. Especially considering there's apparently like a massive empire in the middle of the US, and what we were fighting with was just like the fringes of their kind of tribes and stuff. That's dumb. And yeah, the courier isn't there, so they're not taking control of anything. I don't know. It's just yeah, they really strive off, and Star Wars has been doing this for ages now. They really strive off member berries.
Yeah.
Like, oh, see this cool thing? Oh, remember this cool person? Oh, you remember that sound from fucking this fucking specific gun or this character or whatever? It's Yeah, that's what they want. They want to use settings that appeal to the fans while not putting the effort in, because obviously you have to kind of play the games for these areas to have any significant meaning to you. So they just drain it of all personality so their new characters and stories can work in it. And yeah, it's just very dull and dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not like offended here. I mean, he's a purist. I wouldn't say I'm a purist. I think that you got to pay attention to some parts of the lore that are important. I don't mind their like creative liberties being taken, But like the final straw for me was, like I said, retconning the last 30 years where, like I said, the game is heavily implied. It's the bombs got dropped by one specific country and the show didn't do it. And on top of that, like what we were just talking about there with the giving us no ending. I understand that player choice is paramount, Bethesda doesn't want the show to reflect one specific decision because it's going to make players feel like, oh man, my ending didn't get chosen. And it's like, okay, but now nobody's ending got chosen. So it's like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's like they tried to not offend anyone, so they upset everybody.
right.
And that's a classic mistake. Yeah. It's like, well, we won't like stick to one ending, so we'll just make it all shit, and then it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like you're all equally offended now because no matter what you did, fucking sucked.
Mm-hmm.
But so moving on in the episode, so after the meeting with the fake Mr. House and with Barb, we then see the ghoul who's been left impaled on this light post, I guess. He's on this beam or signpost, and he's just sitting there. He's trying to get to his vials. Nobody's helping him because I guess nobody wants to take the time to help him. I don't know how his legs are moving, considering that he's like his spine is clearly snapped in half, but that's just a slight nitpick. So this plot line keeps having him, he's flashing back to being a ghoul, and then he has memories of his time with Barb before the war. And I found this entire confrontation that's been building for, the better part of 2 seasons now really underwhelming. Like Walton Goggins, I think he does his best with what's provided, but the dialogue here is really rough. He's just very, I don't know. It doesn't feel like, he's discovered that his wife is ending the world. He's not like, it's not really bringing it home in the dialogue. Their conversation doesn't really add up. Like, he's like, why are you killing everybody? And she's like, I'm doing it to save our daughter. Wouldn't you do the same thing? It's like you would have so many questions as to what the fuck she's even talking about.
I would go,
like,
I don't know if you guys are fathers. I am. I have an 8-year-old. And I would do many, many, many things for my daughter, including dying for her. But the moral implication behind killing millions, tens of millions of people, that's you can't just like pass that off in one line of dialogue.
Yeah. Like, well, the fact that it's just not like followed through, like he's not like, what are you talking about? Like, what does that even mean? Like, he would just, like, if I was like, what does that mean? Who's threatening our child? Like, she doesn't really follow up. Like, if you're gonna explain a conspiracy to your husband, you'd be like, okay, so the reason I'm doing this is because I've been threatened by, an organization, a shady organization that runs Voltec, and I have reason to believe that they'll kill our family if I don't do this. And like this does come out in the dialogue eventually, but it's very poorly done. It's
Right.
like I can't repeat all the dialogue in the scene, but I don't know. I just didn't feel like the passion and the drama that this kind of conversation would have. Like I didn't feel it. I just like, this is talking about the end of the world. She's like the devil. You think he'd be like losing his mind, and she would also be like
offended. It's not her fault. God forbid. I was like, man, a black female is behind all this. No. She doesn't want to do this at all. It's the people behind her that are manipulating her, and it's like, imagine that.
This episode, like that, like those flashback scenes, it feels like they hastily rewrote that like entire plot line because of how severe the backlash was from fans implying that Voltec nuked everyone to make fucking a profit on the end of the world, because that's fucking retarded.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it feels like they've kind of tried to rewrite that. So maybe that's why it's not as like the dialogue and stuff isn't as well kind of choreographed, because it was supposed to be Voltec, and then everyone fucking hated that because it makes no fucking sense.
Right.
So they're like, oh shit. No, it wasn't them. It wasn't her. Someone else is controlling it. That makes sense.
Well, it doesn't really save it because she still convinces all these, hyper capitalists that ending the world is a good idea and they'll somehow make money off of it. And they still talk about this episode, like Bud Askins is like talking about vaults and like making money and shit. And it's like, why are you talking about making money at this point? This would not matter to you. If your plan was to literally destroy civilization, you're not thinking about cash. You'd be like burning, that you'd be putting the company into bankruptcy because it wouldn't matter. You would never have to pay off anything. You would know it's coming. That you
Yeah,
could do
but
whatever you wanted.
it doesn't make sense for fucking House, who wants humanity to fucking go out into space and colonize the stars, to be like, oh, the end of the world, get in. You know? So
Yeah.
this fucking show is a mess when it comes to who's organizing the end of the world. So yeah, I just don't really fucking.
What?
That's another thing. Like, it's such a fucking stupid plot line that I can't really care about it. So seeing like half an episode be dedicated to that just kind of
Mhm.
dragged for me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I like we're kind of skipping ahead a bit, but I like how it's just this like kind of awkward and clumsy conversation, and like that's all it takes for her to switch sides. It's like she's like literally like fucking starting a conspiracy to blow up the planet, and then fucking Walton Goggins, says I'm gonna do something about it, and then she's like, yeah, I'll help you.
Well, it's like, and I said this in my review of the episode, that the tagline for Fallout has always been, everybody, you guys don't know, war. War never changes. That's what it's always been about, is war. What war is going on in this show? It's corporations. Corporations never change.
Mhm.
That's what it is. Like, the games were always about war and the ramifications of it, especially after the bombs got dropped, the factions going back and forth and fight one another, et cetera, et cetera. This whole show is just corporate espionage, which is getting away from the core message of Fallout as a whole.
Yeah.
Actually, the franchise was always about how capitalism bad.
Fuck you, nerd.
The amount of
Yeah.
people who fucking try to argue with the fucking creators about what their own fucking franchise is about is fucking hysterical on Twitter.
Oh my god.
Ah.
Let me tell you
Actually,
something
guys,
about you that you don't know.
we didn't mean for this franchise to be a critique of capitalism. It was about this and this and this. Actually, no.
Yeah, that's actually that's definitely the people who like this show will probably, a lot of them will say that. So this is going into my theory that I told you guys about before the podcast started, but I think where the show is going is that we're gonna have this big revelation that the Enclave destroyed the planet, right? Like that's pretty obvious. They spelled that out already. But I think that's gonna coincide with the fact that the Enclave is coming back, and now that the Brotherhood is weak, they'll come back in a big way, and they'll probably be the big bad guys of season 3 or something. But that's where I think that's where the show's going.
I'm a BOS guy. For the folks that see my videos or listen, podcast, I'm Brotherhood of Steel all the fucking way. I'm a fanboy. I ought to, I ought to love the way the Enclave is being framed. Like, they're the big bad guys and they suck. I ought to love that. Be like, yeah, fuck the Enclave. But it doesn't make any sense. None of it makes sense for the Enclave to be behind everything.
Well, I mean, not only does it not really make any sense for them to be behind everything, but why bring them back again? They died twice already. Like, are you serious? This is the only. I mean, Lumar, you mentioned this before. Come up with a new villain. Like, if you're gonna make the show continue on from the games, then don't reset everything. Continue on. Like, the Enclave is old news. Like, they've been gone for a long time. And they keep trying to pretend like this is like this new threat on the horizon. They're coming back like the Empire or something like that. Like, it's the First Order. It's so much like the new Star Wars. Like, it's so much like the sequel series where they they want these
Somehow
member
Palpatine
berries, like you
returned.
said, but but they want to reset everything. It's not the Empire, it's the First Order now, and it's the same situation as before. It's not the rebellion, it's the resistance. It's the same bullshit again with this show. It's just like bringing back the old characters, slapping a new skin on them, giving them a new context, but it's the same fucking story again.
Yeah, it's like New Vegas. It was like 6 dudes in a cave, and only like one of them was really kind of invested in keeping hold of the Enclave's ideals and goals, and that the rest of them were just kind of waiting out their lives, just waiting to die in this cave. And then it's like the first season of this show, it's like, oh, they've just got this massive fucking facility where they're doing all these experiments and no one's fucking found them. And then, yeah, apparently, probably next season they're going to be the big bads again.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
in Fallout 2, like they're the main antagonists of Fallout 2. The Enclave is. I mean, you blow up their oil rig. You pretty much, in the events of that game, you pretty much run them out of the West, which is why you see them in Fallout 3 and Raven Rock and all that in the East. So how do they magically get a foothold back in the West again after the events of Fallout 2?
A lot of fans even fucking point out the fact that like they shouldn't even exist in the East. Like that was a whole retcon that they added in just to throw in the Enclave back into the story. So they've done that. Like the Enclave were never supposed to come back after Fallout 2. But because Bethesda owned the game series, they retconned it. So now they're doing it again.
I mean, with Fallout 3, you could isn't there like 60 or like 100-year time gap between Fallout 2 and Fallout 3? You could argue that like all of the forces that weren't on the oil rig when it exploded, they kind of you know they didn't really have any info on what to do, really. All of their base of operations was destroyed. They were being attacked by the NCR and the West Coast Brotherhood of Steel, and they were like, let's go DC. They've probably got some data there, science areas, shit like that. We might be able to regain power. And obviously, I can buy that. But saying that there's just all of these different fucking facilities around the West Coast all of this time later is just fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, what was really interesting about the Enclave in New Vegas was like how much they kind of took from the like real world history of the Nazis, where it's like you have all these people that are trying to like go undercover and hide their true identity. They were part of a faction that was completely evil, did some really fucked up shit, and now they're in hiding. And like the entire plot of in New Vegas with the Enclave is bringing them back to their, like for one last kick at the can, but they're all fucking old people and like they're totally done. Like you said, they're retirees essentially, getting back in their power armor for one last big gig, and it's like this, redemption moment for them, or possibly not, depending on your choices. But yeah, I think them just coming back as a big faction again just doesn't make any sense. I think it's really lazy and dumb and boring, and but is in fucking tune with the writers of this show. So
well,
they're keeping it form.
Let me make a note here real quick, because I don't know how if we're going to move on from the Enclave part or not, but it kind of skipping forward a little bit in the show, just because I kind of want to put the Enclave behind us. But the super mutant, which is played by Ron, I believe in current thing. Perlman, he mentions that to Cooper Howard that the Enclave is behind the FEV that made him what he is, and even that is a contradiction of the lore, because in Fallout 2, yeah, the Enclave was fucking around with the FEV, but it's actually the opposite. They weren't creating super mutants; they were trying to kill them with curling tac 13. So they even screwed that up, because the way the frame show the show frames it is that they're creating super mutants and testing them on them and this, that, and the other. And the Ron Perlman's character is pissed off about that and wants to get, some revenge. That makes no sense. They should have went with the Master and from Fallout 1, who actually did create an army of super mutants. So I thought they even screwed that up. They're trying to make the Enclave not just the big bad of one storyline. They're the bad guy as a whole. They did all of this shit. And I think that's stupid. It's so one-dimensional.
It's Agatha all along.
Yeah, well, I think I mean, like, it depends on what he's saying. Like, so if he's accusing the American government, which the Enclave was the American government, of creating FEV, and that's what he's talking about, I guess there's some logic there. But you're right. That explanation doesn't really make any sense in context of what he's saying. Also, okay, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves with that whole scene with this fucking super mutant.
I
but
just
we'll
wanted
come
to mention,
back around to that.
I didn't know if we wanted to keep beating on Enclave.
Yeah, you're right. We'll put that behind us. That's a whole can of worms we're gonna get into. The fucking super mutant scene I thought was so fucking weak. But yeah, okay. So we're coming back to Lucy. She wakes up in the vault and she reunites with her dad, and they have some back and forth, and he's kind of like treating this as like a fun little role play situation where he's letting her take control of him, and then he shows her the, I guess, the moral sphere he's operating in, which is that factions are evil, and he's trying to erase factions by brainwashing everybody by making the ultimate faction. I mean, his whole logic of factions being dumb is dumb. Because like he doesn't clearly understand that human beings are naturally factional and that no matter what you do, you're going to create more factions. Like humans are just attuned to that. So I guess his whole plan is to erase human nature by brainwashing the entire planet.
Yeah, that seems to be the plot, which is not going to go well at all. That's I hate this fucking storyline. It makes no fucking sense. Oh, let's destroy the entire planet because that will somehow be profitable afterwards. And then actually no, we're not gonna form our own societies. We actually do want people to be able to live on the surface so then we can brainwash them. It's like, make up your fucking mind. Did you want all of them to go extinct so you can reclaim the surface world for yourself, or did you want to mind control the world, basically? Like, which one is it? That's two different plot points. Like,
And also a question with the whole Hank thing. So we know in the beginning of the show he was, brought out of stasis and made the overseer of Vault 33. And then he was taken by Moldover at the beginning of season 1 and held captive. And then after the finale, he's escaped to New Vegas to start this brainwashing thing. So was this always part of the plan? Was he always going to do this, or is he just doing it because he got pulled out of the vault? Like it seemed like he was pretty content to live in Vault 33 until now. So is it like, yeah, what's his overall yeah, I'm just kind of confused about that.
well, that's another thing. That's another plot point. The Vault-Tec and him knew like who House was, and how he wanted to survive. So they nuked the planet, wanting everyone to be killed, except they actually didn't because they wanted to reclaim the surface and brainwash the people that were left. Except that can't actually be the case because they knew House would be protecting New Vegas and he wouldn't allow them to take New Vegas from him. So, like, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what Hank's fucking plan is at all. Yeah,
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
weird.
it's really dumb. It's all bad. It's all bad. Okay, so moving on to the next scene, we come back to our favorite character, I'm sure, Maximus, and the his buddy, the ghoulish character, I don't know his name, Thaddeus. And yeah, the two are hanging out in the desert, within visible distance of Predwins and stuff going down in the background, and they're just chilling out, talking about, you know, cold fusion and what they're gonna do with it. And so the stupid part about this scene is like, so they get out of the power armor, and he's like, "Are you sure about leaving this power armor behind?" And he's like, "Yeah, they got trackers in it." And then he's like, "Okay." And so then they just sit down beside it for a while and have a chat and don't immediately start to leave.
Well, I've said this before. Again, I'll reiterate this. I'm a BOS fanboy. Every single game, I've either helped the BOS or I've been a direct part of their quest line. I love it. I've always loved them as a faction, despite their flaws. And I can say that Maximus is the worst fucking character in the show. I ought to love him being a big BOS fanboy, and I can't fucking stand him. I don't even know what his goals are. One second he's like anti BOS and he's trying to stand up and do the right thing or what he perceives to be right. And then the next moment he's like all about it, like trying to, get a higher rank and this, that, and the other. And I don't understand any of his motivations in the slightest. And I think the way that they've treated the BOS as a whole is like blasphemy. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, no, I mean the Brotherhood of Steel are probably the most retarded faction in the entire show at this point. Like, we brought this up last time, but the whole fucking grenade scene and the fucking count, I can't get over that. That is just that I can't rant about. I can't
Like,
rant
that
about that
is one
again.
of the stupidest thing. Like, these are supposed to be knights. Like, they're
Yeah.
like the Brotherhood of Steel's most hardened warriors, and they're basically just fucking playing like just passing a grenade between each other and randomly setting it off for no reason.
They're frat boys. That's what they are.
Yeah. They've just made the whole Brotherhood of Steel like so fucking stupid. Oh, and that fucking blowing up the car, like, honestly, that's like
yeah.
that is literally the antithesis. Like it's everything that the Brotherhood of Steel would never do. Oh, it's just a car though. Like, yeah, it's a pre-war, fully functional, pristine car. They would fight tooth and nail just to keep that thing from getting fucking scratches on it.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Well, actually talking about that whole Area 51 thing, I think that was completely wasted as a location. Like, considering that they could have used that in the future for a game or something, or like put a lot of thought into like the super weapons that would be there, there's just nothing really. Like, they just have some guns and weapons and shit, but like, they could have thought of some like fucking really cool toys that could be like new Fallout weapons or whatever that we could have seen.
So far, it's been used for one very funny joke that I actually really enjoyed, and then that's just it. They just haven't bothered doing anything else with it.
What's the joke?
With the alien.
Oh, the Zeton.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like dude, and then they just completely disregard the alien. It's a cold box.
Yeah.
Like, I did like that. But like that kind of point, so you've got that scene where they're more kind of enchanted by a working freezer than they are by an alien. And then in the next scene, they're blowing up a pristine pre-war car that they could replicate. It's just...
Yeah, well, I think I was saying this in the last show, that like Fallout, it kind of treats itself as like a madcap comedy. Like everyone gets to the place they're at because they're stupid. Like most main characters that are, stupid comedic characters. Like think of Anchorman, like how does Ron Burgundy end up being fired from his news network? Well, because he's like a sexist asshole that like gets in a physical altercation with his girlfriend because she took the news away from him and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like he gets to where he's at because he's an idiot, right? Same thing could be said for the characters in this show. How does Maximus get cold fusion? Well, he he well, let's backtrack. So he tried to kill his father figure cleric, elder, because why? He just decided to. That was like a thing he wanted to do. He then, accidentally kind of starts a civil war, and before that, he kills a guy because he's about to kill some children. Why does he care about these kids? Like, I know that, obviously main characters have more morality typically than like the counterparts around them. But like fucking he was raised by the Brotherhood. Why does he care about ghouls and no one else does? Like we should know that about his character, but that's never revealed to us. So he makes that dumb decision, and he can keep following his decisions back to the beginning based on how stupid they are. Like he just keeps fumbling through things. It's not because he's intelligent or skilled or good at anything. He's just like, yeah, I'm Maximus. Like, like I'm gonna kill the elder now. That's my choice. Like, why?
Well, the thing that
why are you doing that?
That irks me is that so we have the Enclave, which is supposed to be the big bad, the overarching bad, right? Like they were the ones that supposedly were behind the bombs dropping. They're the ones that are supposedly behind the FEV. They're the ones that are sitting back in the fucking shadows, right? There has been multiple instances within the Fallout games where the BOS has absolutely beat the dog shit out of the Enclave, especially once the development of the Tesla cannon, which turned the tide of the war. They're on the East Coast. I mean, the BOS all but wiped the floor with the Enclave. And you mean to tell me that the BOS that we're seeing on screen right now, these bumbling band of fucking idiots, you mean to tell me that those guys were the ones that were able to beat the Enclave in the past? It doesn't even make sense, like, within the continuity of what they're presenting. You get what I'm saying? Like, we know for a fact the BOS has become the most dominant force in the East. We know that. We know that they defeated the Enclave multiple times in the past. And you're trying to tell me that these fucking idiots that we're watching on screen are capable of doing that? No!
Well, you could say the same thing about the Brotherhood of Steel in the West as well. Like it's pretty established that in New Vegas, like the Brotherhood, the Mojave chapter especially has been beaten the fuck up. Like they
Hmm.
are reduced to being, like hiding in their bunker. They're not the people they used to be, right? So like they've lost significantly because they can't adapt to the times, right? Like the NCR managed to defeat them through numbers and like their economy and because they're a more modern nation. And so like that entire you know like that told a whole story and how like the wasteland was changing, how governments were changing, how tribalism was kind of going away, and how the Brotherhood wasn't changing enough to adapt to this new world, and now they're just forgiven for that. Like they're back to being the winners again. Like they beat the NCR, I guess, in this new war as well. It's like what? Like the entire lesson you taught us in New Vegas, which is that the Brotherhood are fading,
Hmm.
is now gone because they're just back to being the winners again. And now it's just Brotherhood across the board. Like what big faction could stand against them at this point? I mean, we know the Enclave is coming, but like honestly, what other faction is there in the Wasteland at the moment?
Yeah, I mean the
Right?
game
Like
the
is it
game establishes like pretty much in the West Coast, the NCR is who owns it. The NCR. I'm pretty sure they were the ones responsible for destroying the Navarro base, I think, for the Enclave, and then they were responsible for beating the Brotherhood of Steel and kind of pushing them out of the West. But then the East, that's where the Brotherhood, especially in the Boston area, that's where they run rampant. I mean, they beat the shit out of Enclave and Fallout 3 and Raven Rock. They have a massive presence, obviously, in Boston, the events of Fallout 4. But yeah, in every possible angle, the Enclave have lost. But yet they're still,
Mhm.
I'm saying? That's West Coast, the NCR beat them up. In the East Coast, the Brotherhood still beat them up. So why the fuck are they the overarching enemy? Like in every single instance in the
Yeah.
games, they've lost. So how are they still?
They
Ah.
they just keep bringing back like factions that, I mean, we were just saying there that even the West Coast Brotherhood of Steel, they were kind of on their back legs
Mhm.
towards the New Vegas storyline, and now it's like they're fine. There's a faction that's between Los Angeles and Las Vegas, which is where Maximus's faction is. There's one in the Grand Canyon. There's like three others around the West Coast. And it's like you went
Yeah,
from
and
this
why the
tiny
Grand?
little
It's like
bunker.
the Grand Canyon. It was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's like Legion territory. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's
They
Yeah.
had a
how did
fucking
they?
DLC set there.
Yeah, yeah. What the fuck? Oh, we know the DLC was new Zion National Park, but yeah, you're right.
Ah, my
Yeah.
bad.
That's okay. Um, okay, so let's move on to the next scene in this terrible episode. So we're getting oh man, the the fucking vault incest plot line. Like it is utterly painful. This whole party
So grieving.
sequence where they're like, yeah, it's just like, oh, hey, the resources in Vault 30. There's no interesting characters here anymore. Why is this a focus? Like, there's
Yeah.
nobody left. There's nobody left. Lucy's brother's gone. Lucy's gone. I mean, in Vault 33 specifically, we just have this weird guy who wants to start an incest support group. That's the only thing that they're going off of right now. It's so dull and stupid. I don't know why this is still you know, involved in the show at this point.
Yeah, but didn't you clap when they started playing Uranium Fever? Did you not clap at
Uh,
that?
I clapped. I clapped when I saw it.
Good God. Well, even
Yeah.
the subsidiary plot line, the side plot line, like you have Blind Owl. I refuse to call her anything else. She's Blind Owl from Deadpool. I refuse to call her anything else.
I
I don't give a fuck what her name is in the show. She's Blind Owl. But you have
know.
the blonde bitch with the eye patch, and then you have this simp that's
Mm,
taking care of her kid and all that. And I'm like, what are we even doing here? Like, what is
Jet.
now they're getting married, and it's like, what?
mhm.
Why? Like, what is this? What's the purpose of this?
I don't know. And like I did like well we said the Brotherhood are retarded, but the people in the vault are actually like brain dead. They're like nobody can figure out like that the overseers are fucking evil and fucking them over. Like they're all just
Right.
so dumb when approaching it. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't like I think people get really touchy about like the incest humor in shows and like in movies and stuff when it comes up. I don't like it doesn't bother me so much. It's just kind of old now. Like the bit has been played out. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny when Lucy brought it up the first time. So like we can't date, we're cousins, blah blah blah. Like I was like, okay, fine. Like it's dumb, but the one joke is like fine. But now it's just like literally an incest support group and the entire vault's going. It's like
Yeah, I mean
They got
that
the snack
wasn't
budget.
that the whole point? Wasn't that the whole point of the other vault? So there's two vaults and people marry like into each other, so there's no like they reduce the
yeah.
chance of inbreeding in that. And then here
Yeah.
there's just a fucking support group because apparently they've been doing it for ages now, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it kind of explains why they're all fucking dumbasses, but
yeah,
there you go. So yeah, getting back to the ghoul now. So he gets saved by, is that Ron Perlman is playing that Superman? You mentioned that.
yeah,
There's,
it is.
yeah, 100%. And which I like the show incorporating him because I mean his voice work he's done in the games. I mean it's yeah, I appreciate them incorporating him somehow. So I will say that I appreciate that.
He'll take
Mhm.
any excuse to sit in a makeup chair for like 8 hours.
He's not necessarily getting a lot of work nowadays. That's why he's ranting and raving all over fucking Twitter.
Okay, yeah. Well, so his solution to heal the ghoul is to put a piece of pure uranium into his back. I guess that heals the ghoul. I don't.
Well,
Yeah, I
because
get that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, in obviously in the games, it's like they're healed by radiation, which is why you've got the glowing ones,
Yeah.
and they unleash radiation and it heals the nearby ghouls you're fighting. But it also increases the chance of you going feral.
That's what I was
Yes.
gonna
So
Yep.
say.
yeah, he inserts a solid chunk of uranium into him. Like I don't care what that fucking drug is. Like surely that should just be vaporized out of his system at that point.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
and I
and
mean we see him when he's laying on the lamppost that he's close. Even my girl mentioned that she plays Fallout 4, but she's more like a casual when it comes down to playing the games. But even she said like he's close to going feral. He's literally sitting there on that lamppost impale, and he's you're doing that whole fucking thing, and it's like wait a minute. So he's teetering, but we're just gonna cram uranium in him, and it's like wait a minute. Like the more radiation you get, the that he should be feral at this point.
yeah, no, that didn't make any sense. And so we get this moment where the super mutant's trying to recruit him to his army. Maybe is that what he's doing? He said that they're kin and that they got to stick together for the war that's coming. And obviously, he's talking about the Enclave being a problem. Um, didn't really understand this scene. Like, I just like, what's he really offering? And he doesn't really have a reason to offer it specifically to Walton Goggins. Like, they don't know each other and he's very vague. And the entire conversation again, which it just felt very unrealistic because you would have so many questions about what he's talking about. It's like, what war are you talking about? And why do you want me in it? And what's your overall goal? What's your like? Do you have an army? Is this a group? Or what are you preparing for? Why are you hiding here? What's going like? You know what I mean? Like I would have a lot more questions than I do it alone, you know. I'd be like, yeah, what's the fucking deal, you know? Because he's like, I want to find my family. He's like, for that, you're gonna need some help. It's like you don't know this guy. You don't know what his fucking deal is.
Yeah, it's a very weird situation. I think it's implied because obviously the Enclave they want to kind of remove tainted humanity that's been infected with radiation and stuff. That's why in Fallout 3 you can put that virus into the drinking water and it'll start killing off all the ghouls and stuff.
Yep. Project Purity.
So yeah, I guess they're trying to imply that the Enclave are coming back, and if they do that, the first things they're gonna want to kill is like super mutants and the ghouls and the Nightkin and things like that. In which case, you should probably say they're gonna fucking try and genocide all ghouls. That might get them on your side instead of just saying, "Oh, the people coming, the Enclave." You know, just yeah, like you say, give him a bit of information, and maybe he's fucking Cooper should have some fucking questions about that. But yeah,
Yeah, I saw. Oh,
The,
sorry, go ahead.
there's also the instance too that like this is the first time we're seeing a super mutant on screen. Is this the first time that Cooper has run into one? Like, he has no reaction to this big hulking fucking beast in front of him. So it's like he's either like, this is the first time he's seen one, and he would be like, holy shit, like, the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? But he has like really no reaction to this big. Suppose it's this big reveal. This is the first time the audience is seeing it, but then Cooper has no reaction to it. He's just like sitting there fucking listening, like, yes, 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 your proposal, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think super mutants aren't like completely rare. I think they're like well known, I guess. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he just has a complete lack of reaction to everything that the guy's saying. Like he doesn't seem to. And it was the same thing with uh, Mr. House. You know, when Mr. House like drops, you know, supposedly this big bomb on him, where it's like, you know, the Enclave. All right, there's a third party destroying the world, and that now this like the second reveal with the Enclave, it's like he just doesn't really care or react to it. Like it doesn't seem to really like bother him that much. I just find it's funny that he keeps getting revelations every episode, but it's like doesn't really seem to change him at
There's
all
no
or
weight at all.
what he's
Yeah.
trying to do. Yeah. Um, yeah, what else? Oh, so okay, so moving on to the next scene, we get Barb again, and she meets that doctor from season 1 that created Cold Fusion. So he's also back in time. I really hate how the characters are all living before the war and they're still alive now. They've completely
Yeah.
taken away the entire feeling of the apocalypse because everyone's just alive. Like we don't know any characters that have died because of, you know, the bombs dropping. There's no weight behind that at all because apparently surviving the apocalypse is pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I can't think of a single character that we've seen in these flashbacks that have actually like died in some. Maybe House. Maybe I don't. We don't know. We don't know what the fuck happened with that guy.
Well, I mean, House doesn't die pre-war. He dies after the war if he's dead at all at this point.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know. We don't know his fate. I mean, we obviously his plan to protect New Vegas failed. Obviously New Vegas got bombed in some capacity because there's fucking death claws there now. The Kings are ghouls, so his plan to protect New Vegas obviously didn't work after the events of the game. But yeah, we still don't know his fate. We're 2 episodes away from, we got 2 episodes left, and we still don't know what the fuck happened to him.
Yeah, I'm not that excited to find out. Yeah, but I think it's just kind of annoying at this point how many characters have been alive pre-war and now after war. Like, how do they all survive the bombs dropping? Why are there so? What's the like? What are the chances that all these people knew each other and all survived? Like,
Right.
the fact that like fucking Cooper knows everybody. Like be like kind of shocked at like oh my god, all the people I knew before the war are alive. Wow, everyone except Matt Berry. He's the only one who died. But even then, he's fucking Codsworth, so he kind of lives. Like he's not.
Actually,
the more I think about it, the more
I
how
got something
fucking dumb it is.
I got something a little interesting. I just thought about this, and it's kind of like it's not a very important character, but in these flashback sequences, we see Blind Al, and I don't know what her name is in the fucking like it's Betty or something like that. I'm gonna call her Blind Al
Oh,
because she's
right.
Blind Al.
Oh, yeah.
But in the flashback sequence, we see Blind Al, but she is substantially younger then. So never mind. Never mind. I just talked myself in a circle because she lived in that vault for a while, and that fucking explains her aging. Never mind. Never mind. Sorry.
She also she was really hot when she was younger. What happened?
You
a lot of sugar bombs. A lot of sugar bombs in that fucking balls. Okay, so we cut back to Lucy, and she's taking her dad out of the fucking place, and he's willing to go, but shows her that brainwashing people is a good idea by giving her this really shitty morality test where he pits 2 people who want to kill each other against each other, and then almost lets her die, giving her the only choice to save her own life and the other people's is to hit the button. So yeah, woo, yeah, brainwashing. Yeah.
I took 2 of the most extreme, violent individuals and let them loose. That proves that all people are like this, and everyone needs to be mind controlled. Like, no, that's such a fucking shit thing to try and argue. Like,
I know.
I took 2 zealots, so that applies to everyone.
Well, it's not only that too. It's like they're stupid. Like these guys are literally taped up and or wrapped up in chairs, and they've been brought into this vault, this beautiful place, a structure they've never seen before, surrounded by people they've never met, and all they care about is killing one another. And it's like, are they really that
Mhm.
one dimensional? Like I'd be like, what the hell is all
Yeah,
this stuff
yeah.
here? But
People
it's
are like,
like,
I'm gonna. That guy has a clear chance to escape. He's bigger than everyone else in
you're
that room.
right.
And
It's-
also, why is he trying to staple him to death? I know, it's just fucking dumb as shit. Where he's literally fucking bouncing a stapler off the guy's head, and Lucy's panicking like he's gonna die. It's like you can't die from staples. He's fine.
Yeah, I just thought that
Yeah.
was wild. Just fucking like I said, they don't seem to understand the environment they're in or the people they're surrounded by. They're just like, I have to kill the NCR, and the NCR's like, I have to kill the Legion. And it's like, why do you treat all these factions like they're fucking stupid? There's not
Yeah,
a single intelligent faction in this show. They're either killed off
it's a
or they're
mad
dumb
it's a
as fuck.
madcap
Basically, yeah.
comedy, man. It's a madcap comedy. It's just they're all fucking Ron Burgundies. Like if you look at everyone as like a fucking Ron Burgundy, that's all they are.
You stay classy, New Vegas.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
nice, nice.
I'm fine. I'm fine with some like funny, wacky stuff going on in the show. Like I say, I thought that fucking alien in the freezer joke was pretty good. Like I'm fine with shit like that, cropping up. New Vegas is literally famous for the fact that one of the most picked perks by people is the one that makes the wasteland more wacky and adds funnier stuff to it. Like I'm fine having stuff like that in, but I don't know when it's supposed to be big dramatic moments like this, and you're having some guy try and kill someone by fucking stapling into their head, like he would beat the shit out of them before trying to kill
Yeah, why
someone
you be
doing
punching
that.
him, like gouge out his eyes? Like there'd be like so many other things he'd be trying to do than staple him to death. Yeah,
And then
I'm
they
totally
want
there with you with like the jokes. Like I'm fine with a wacky alien joke or whatever, but like the show's just constantly beating us over the head with this. Every character's dumb. Every
Yeah.
character's dumb. It's like I get it. They're dumb.
Like even
Yeah,
Lucy,
it's
which is
not
like the
funny.
the title character. I mean, Ella Purnell does a great job, but it's like how fucking naive is this character? She hasn't she's barely grown, and it just every instance she's just naive, and everything is rainbows and unicorns, and it's like that's just this point is stupid. You've seen like some of the worst people on planet Earth and been some of the worst situations. There's no way, like there's no way you would still be acting like this.
But yeah, she's still trying to operate under the same morality system she started with, even though,
Yeah.
yeah, she's completely changed. Yeah, it's silly. All right, so next scene, we go into something also really dumb. So Cooper decides to get Hank really drunk, and he passes out in the chair, and then has this fucking case handcuffed to him, by the way, and it's fucking unlocked. It's just open. It's just he does not need to do anything. It doesn't have a key. It's not like there's this fucking code to it. He doesn't have to break it open. It's just he unclips it, and it's this. I mean, to be fair, it's just this needle thing. But why do you have this fucking? If that's all you're carrying in it is this fucking thing that you need to inject the cold fusion with, like you can get other versions of that. No one would open that and be like, "I'm taking this."
Well, not only that, but
Yeah.
he's walking around the party with it. Like
Yeah.
I've been in the military, and I've transported classified documents and items and stuff like that. Once you check in, you're passing it off to someone to where it goes to a secure location. This guy fucking had this thing handcuffed to him while he traveled. He's still handcuffed to him when he gets there to this big meeting. It's like, why at no point? And he's allowed to go party with it. He's out there hanging out with people, and it's what the fuck? Like, what? Why would you pass it off to someone in a secure room or something?
Well, I mean, the important thing is in his neck. Like
Yeah, I know.
all they've done here is attract more attention to him by giving him a briefcase that they don't need to give him. Because yeah, it's literally just like a big kind of syringe gun, which I'm sure they would have in like several different laboratories and shit
Hmm.
that they own.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Like
all
he
they've
would.
done is make him a bigger target than what they needed to.
Literally, yeah, because if Walton Goggins didn't see that briefcase, he would have approached him and never got him drunk and never done what he had done. And then, like, his wife wouldn't have intervened. Like, none of it would have happened because nobody knew that would be in his neck. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, because if he starts in, say, wherever he started, right? Let's say he's in LA, they inject him with cold fusion, he gets to Vegas, and then they would have whoever's there be like, "Can you have the syringe gun that you need to get it out of his neck?" Like, and they'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, definitely, of course."
I don't even know how
Yeah,
he has the
and
cold
why is it
fusion
in
in his
his?
neck. Yeah, that looks
But yeah,
like
why is it in
ow.
his fucking neck? Why you put it in your fucking arm or something? Why is
Like,
it
but
in
the
this
thing is,
fucking like?
it's not small. It's sizable. Like this is
It's
like that would hurt.
yeah, you could swallow it. Swallow fucking if it's like if you need it to be in your body, just fucking eat it. Like
Put
put
it
it in your
in your
tooth.
pocket,
if you're
man. What are
gonna
you
put
doing?
something, if you're gonna inject something into someone, like the neck is probably one of the worst places because it's mostly just flesh.
I
Like
know.
put it like between the shoulder blades or something like that, like
Yeah.
between the spine and the shoulder blades, so at least it's kind of protected by the bone. But here, it's like someone could just fucking stab him in the neck and take it, and then they've just got cold fusion.
Well,
Well, what
that's it.
about also like if you miss with that needle, you're gonna kill him?
I was about to
Like
say, like
that's a big ass syringe.
the wound too, like of it being put in there and then extracted. That would hurt like shit. Like that. Like I said, this is not some tiny little vial. This thing's pretty fucking sizable. Like what the
Yeah.
hell? Like you would mess up all kinds of shit in your neck.
Yeah, no,
Stupid.
you'd be really fucked up for like because
Show's
he's
fucking
not
dumb.
doing it once, he's doing it twice. And how is he? And by the way, how is he not bleeding? Like I know it's a needle, but like it's a big needle. Like
Yeah.
it just finally it's like a little shot, and he's like, "Oh."
Show's
It's like,
fucking
God damn,
stupid.
how fucking yeah, yeah. It was laughable, and then yeah, so she's on his side now. That's the big moment, right? Barb's on his team, and great. Okay, I don't give a shit. So then Maximus gets approached by Dogmeat, and they follow Dogmeat to. It looks like this is supposed to be Good Springs, just based on the Mojave Mission School. That kind of reminds me of Good Springs.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong though. It doesn't look like Good Springs to me. I don't know where this is supposed to be.
Yeah, it looks more like urbanized kind of. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just some whatever. It's some fucking place in the Mojave. And so then the show ends with Maximus finding the ghoul, and the ghoul's like, "Fuck! Oh no, it's Maximus, who he wouldn't recognize really. I don't think. I mean, maybe they don't really interact ever, besides when Maximus has his power armor on. So he's never really seen him face to face. The only other time was in the finale when he was knocked out on the ground, but it's not like I don't know. I just don't see the ghoul like looking at Maximus and being like, "Oh yeah, that's you," you know? Like Maximus would recognize the ghoul, but not the other way around.
Yeah, I hate Maximus. I don't know. Like to me as a BOS guy too. Like I mean, we don't know. We really don't know where Maximus's his allegiance is at this point. Like we know he wanted to kill the scribe or whatever the hell the head of the Mojave chapter, but we still don't know if he's practicing the BOS ideals or not. But technically, according to the ideals, he shouldn't even be talking to Cooper. The ghoul's an
No, I
abomination.
mean it seems like he's not. Well, I brought this up before, but it's very questionable as to what he believes. But why does he have these values that are completely misaligned with the Brotherhood of Steel? Right, like
Right.
he's been raised with them since he was like 9, 10 years old.
Yep.
You would be a pretty solid like indoctrinated kid at that point. You'd be like, yeah, I'm up for what they're doing. They gave me a home. They educated me. They gave me weapons and like ability, and you'd be completely owing their life to them. So their philosophy would be imprinted on Maximus, but it seems to not have for some reason.
Well, he can't be a bigot. That's the thing. If he doesn't if he kills ghouls and super mutants, that makes him look like a bigot. We can't have that. No, not with a black character.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking not.
I mean,
Hey.
they could have done like they could have had like a little sliver of he's more of an outsider because obviously he was raised in Shady Sands, and so he's kind of grown up in that community where they're a lot more tolerant and a lot more friendly and open. But they've not really, like, they've had him in one flashback scene, which is the destruction of Shady Sands, and that's it. So, like, I feel like that's a missed opportunity. You could have seen that he had ghoul friends, or there was a ghoul neighbor who was really nice to him, and so that's why he's kind of like hesitant to harm them and things like that. And over the
Mm-hmm.
course of his journey with, is it Thaddeus? Is
Yeah,
that
Thaddeus.
is
Yeah.
the yeah? Like over the like obviously he's a ghoul now, but he's still just kind of acting like the person like he grew up with. So he kind of realizes that ghouls are really just people. There's nothing spectacularly wrong with the everyday ghoul. And then you could have had the stuff where he's defending the ghoul kids and that, but
Mhm.
there's
Yeah.
not that added backstory. And obviously those two events happen at different points in this timeline. So yeah, he's just cool with ghouls and shit. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
It's weird.
trying to figure out Maximus's character is, man, it's an enigma wrapped in an illusion. It's not non-existent really.
He's
Um,
got two different personalities, and he's got ideals that don't mesh quite well with the Brotherhood of Steel. So,
Right.
one moment he's this kind of naive, jokey guy who doesn't really know a lot about anything, with that fucking sex joke in season one. And then, on the other hand, he's like uh solemn, kind of serious guy who wants to give his self to the Brotherhood and make that great. And
Yeah,
uh,
that
yeah, I
they
don't know.
totally they set that up in this season and then immediately shit on it for some reason. Like it's like, yeah, he's a loyal, member of the Brotherhood. He's the sword while the scribe's the head or whatever, and he seems good with that. He seems like he's enjoying himself again. He doesn't seem that torn about anything. And then he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill the leaders and abandon them and then destroy the entire faction I grew up in and just be like, yeah, it does not affect him in the slightest. He does not seem to be emotionally conflicted at all. He's just like, joking around, laughing about cold fusion and walking into the desert like it's all fine and dandy. But it's like, like there would be some guilt, right? Like you started a civil war, you might feel a little bad about it.
Mm,
Right too, and there's like no realism to this at all. So, I mean, think about this as like if you're actually living in this show, right? Like you're in this post-apocalyptic wasteland. There's creatures fucking everywhere, big scorpions, death claws, people trying to kill one another. There's lying, cheating, and stealing, and you're a part of the Brotherhood of Steel, which obviously it has its problems, but you have this massive fucking suit of power armor. You have this amazing weaponry. You have food in your belly. You've got fucking enough water to fucking drink. You're set up pretty fucking good. And for whatever reason, Maximus just turns his back on that, and it's like, are you stupid? Like, are you dumb? It didn't make any sense to me at all.
No, yeah, I'm right there with you. I think Maximus is the weakest link of the entire show in a show of weak links, by the way.
Yes.
yeah, I mean, you could make a solid storyline of a guy who you know he struggles between his duty and his morals, and somehow, despite wanting to follow his morals, he keeps kind of falling up and getting promoted and having like the duty demand he do more heinous shit. Like that, that could be an interesting story, but I've got no fucking clue why they keep promoting him for stuff and why they keep trusting him for stuff. The whole of season one, he basically lied and went behind their back
Yes.
and then gave away their most treasured, like, object in the fucking wasteland. And then they're like, we're going to make you a knight. Actually, we're not even going to make you a knight. We're going to make you, like, above the knights and everyone has to fucking respect you. And it's like, why? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you
He's
do
done
that?
nothing to deserve it. Nothing.
The only thing he did in season one was help with the assault to try and get the fucking cold fusion back, which he had to do because he already fucked it up and was going to be executed if he didn't. So I don't know how that's worthy of a fucking promotion, but
Yeah,
no,
he's the
apparently it
right-hand man
is.
now.
Yeah, and then he gets to command all the knights, and doesn't fucking stop other people in the Brotherhood from trying to kill him though for some reason. That fucking dude wants to
Yeah,
fucking kill him.
the knife
Like
fight
that death
thing, that was
match.
so
Yeah, that
dumb.
was fucking stupid.
Yeah,
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 and then he
it's
just
really weird.
he's sabotaging the Brotherhood, and then he just fucking he's
Yeah,
got
I mean,
yeah, I
the
don't know.
leaders of the
It's
Brotherhood too, man. Like we talked about this before, but like they have a dent. One guy's got a dent in his head. The other guy's like just a blatant sexist, racist guy, and they're all just fucking idiots. It's just it's really hard to watch. But I mean, so we're at the end of this episode now. Do you guys have any final thoughts on the show or anything else you want to say about it?
Lumar, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't really care. Like that's the problem. Like the looking at it from a standalone point of view, there's so much about the story that kind of doesn't make sense in terms of things that are set up and character motivations and things like that. And then as someone who's a fan of the fucking franchise, this is horrend. Like it's such a fucking bad story. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. Fucking Hank is probably gonna sneak his way out again, and there'll be some third master that he actually serves, and he'll team up with in fucking season 3. And then, the Brotherhood of Steel will be fully formed again, and then they'll all get wiped out again by the Enclave that is just fucking taken over. And oh, I don't know. Honestly, I can't even fucking guess where it's gonna go at the end of this season. Probably something to do with a Death Claw because they seem to be fucking hyping them up this season. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't care about this show to be honest.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I did. I mean, Generation Offended and I have gone back and forth, even before the season came out, chatting
Hmm.
back and forth. And I was like, man, I like the show. Yeah, there is some like social messages in there, but for the most part, it's in the background. I've defended the show ad nauseum. But episode 6 is what did me in. And it's just like, again, like I said before, the core message of the game was always that war never changes. War is hell. And everything that happens in the games is consequences of war. Even within the game itself, you have warring factions always. People are always fighting one another. And the show has taken that core message and turned it on its head. It's not about war anymore. It's about big corporations and greed. And no, and all of that again is centered on the showrunners being cowards and not wanting to blame who they've always blamed in the games. And I think that's stupid. It's not war. War never changes. It's capitalism never changes. And that's a stupid fucking message.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Well, I'll say that this show is concentrated, unfiltered piss. It sucks. It's
Big
Yeah.
it's like
ropey
Stranger
pee.
Things level bad. Yeah, yeah. It's it's horrible and I'm disappointed. But on that note, I think we should wrap things up. Do you guys want to plug anything now that we're getting near the end here?
I mean, my channel's been fucking dead for like 2 months, so I can't really offer anything.
I saw you
Oh, I
playing
saw you
Black
made it.
Ops. You were playing Black Ops, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've uploaded so one of them's a compilation of my 28 years later videos, so it's just one big long video you can watch, and the other one is it's a cut down kind of montage of me playing the Black Ops 7 campaign, and I decided I'd take a shot of vodka every time I saw something cringe. And over the
Oh,
course of 6.5 hours, I took 26 shots, and it
Oh,
was
wow.
yeah,
glad
it
you're still
was.
with us.
Yeah.
You know what? Surprisingly enough, didn't even have a hangover the next morning, which is fucking strange. But yeah, that's a bad game. Don't play Black Ops 7. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna hopefully by next week I'll have my The Boys season 4 review breakdown out.
I saw it's like an hour and 40 minutes, isn't it?
An hour and like 50, an hour and 55.
Okay, yeah, I saw
over
your
the
post
course
on it.
of over the course of the past like 10 days, I've done an hour and 40 minutes worth of footage for the video. Because in November I did about 10 minutes, and then I've had to fucking move house and all that shit. So the past week and a bit I've just fucking smashed it out. So yeah,
It's probably. I feel bad for you to have to rewatch that show.
yeah, it's not great. It's yeah, it's yeah, it's such a drastic downgrade compared to the first season, but
Hmm. Yeah, that
yeah.
was actually the first review I ever did on my channel was The Boys season 4, and I think my review ended up being like an hour long in total. But yeah, that was that's a painful fourth season.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
for the folks from my channel that are watching this, I know a lot of people have asked me to do long form content, and that's not me. I don't really do long form content because I have the attention span of a ground squirrel. It's just easy for me to do 8-9 minutes. So, but if you want long form content, Lumar is excellent about it. So make sure to give his channel a follow, subscribe, and all that. He does hour-long videos, really breaks stuff down, and he's got a funny accent. So that's that definitely helps. But yeah, if you want long form stuff, definitely check out Lumar. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, on that note, guys, if you're still listening, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yep. Y'all take care.